For 10,000 years, the galaxy believed humanity was gone, not dead, not defeated, just forgotten. In the great halls of the Galactic Council, humans were spoken of like old dust. Ancient records called them a dangerous mistake, a young species that learned too fast, a species that fought even when it was losing, a species that refused to obey. So the galaxy did not destroy them. The galaxy locked them away. Beyond the mapped stars, there was a dark region of space known as the Silent Sector. No trade routes passed through it. No signals came out. Navigation systems failed near its borders. Even pirates avoided it. The Council said the place was empty, cursed, and useless. The truth was simple. The Silent Sector was a prison. Inside it, thousands of human worlds slept in cold silence. Massive stations floated like dead moons. Cities were sealed under shields that never faded. Deep underground, millions of humans lay inside cryopods, their bodies frozen, their minds paused in time. They were not dreaming. They were waiting. But no one remembered that anymore. Explorer Kale of the Lyran Union was not supposed to be there. His ship was small, old, and damaged. A failed jump had thrown him far off course. His navigation screen showed nothing but static and warning symbols. Fuel was low. Life support was failing. Then his sensors detected something impossible. Power. Not natural radiation. Not stars. Artificial power. Kale stared at the screen. "That's not possible," he whispered. The Silent Sector was supposed to be dead. Against every rule. He moved closer. What appeared before him made his blood run cold. A massive structure floated in the darkness. It was black, sharp, and covered in strange markings. No alien design Kale had ever seen look like this. The station was silent, but not broken. Lights glowed faintly along its surface. This place was not abandoned. It was sleeping. Kale sent a weak scan pulse. The moment it touched the station, his ship alarm screamed. Power surged through the structure. Old systems woke up. Hidden lights flared to life. Massive doors shifted. Weapons, ancient and deadly, rotated toward Kale's ship. A deep signal echoed through space. Not alien. Human. Across the galaxy, old systems that had not been used in thousands of years suddenly activated. Hidden beacons blinked awake. Buried satellites unlocked their seals. Long-forgotten machines began to think again. Inside the Silent Sector, a network older than most civilizations checked its status. Containment active. Population stable. External contact detected. For the first time in 10,000 years, the system asked a question. Is humanity still required to sleep? No answer came. So the system made a decision. Back in the council chambers, panic spread like fire. Ancient alarms rang, their meaning known only to a few elders. Dust-covered archives opened themselves. Red symbols filled the air. "The Silent Sector has activity," a council aide shouted. That was impossible. The oldest historian stood slowly, his voice shaking. No, it cannot be. He accessed forbidden records. Images appeared. Human ships, human soldiers, human cities burning during ancient wars. They were not defeated, he said softly. They were sealed. The council demanded answers. The historian spoke the words no one wanted to hear. "We did not destroy humanity because we could not. Every time we fought them, they changed. They learned. They came back stronger. So we built a cage and put them to sleep." Fear filled the chamber. "And now?" someone asked. The historian looked at the warning symbols. "Now," he said, "the cage has been touched. Deep within the largest human station, far below layers of armor and shields, a single cryopod unlocked. Ice melted. Lights turned green. A human heart began to beat. The man inside opened his eyes slowly. His name was Commander Elias Kane. The last thing he remembered was a losing war and a desperate order for to sleep until the danger passed. A calm machine voice spoke around him. "Commander Kane, external contact detected. Galactic conditions unknown." Kane took a deep breath. His mind cleared fast. Humans always adapted fast. "How long?" he asked. 10,000 years, the system replied. Kane closed his eyes for a moment. Then he asked the most important question of all. Who put us here? Before the system could answer, another alert sounded. Across the silent sector, human defense grids powered up, old weapons unlocked. Factories began to wake. And into the quiet galaxy, a single message was sent on every channel, in every language. Containment failure detected. The galaxy had forgotten humanity. And now, it was remembering why it should not have. The message spread to the galaxy like a shockwave. Containment failure detected. No threat followed it. No demand. No explanation. That silence was worse than any warning. In the Galactic Council chamber, voices rose in fear. Younger races looked confused, but the elders turned pale. They remembered stories their teachers had warned them never to repeat. Humans, for thousands of years, they had been treated as a myth, a warning told to children, a line in forbidden history books. Many believed they were never real at all. Now the myth had spoken. The council ordered all archives opened. No record was to remain sealed. Holograms filled the air. Old battle footage played again. Human ships burned, yet kept fighting. Human soldiers advanced even while wounded. Cities fell, but resistance never stopped. They did not fear extinction, one council member said. They feared submission, an elder replied. The record showed the truth. Humans lost worlds, fleets, and billions of lives. Yet every defeat made them stronger. They copied enemy weapons. They learned alien tactics. They improved faster than anyone thought possible. The galaxy tried peace. Humans rejected control. The galaxy tried war. Humans refused a break. So the final choice was made. Sleep. Inside the silent sector, Commander Elias Kane stood in a white chamber, dressed in simple command armor. Around him, screens showed human systems waking up one by one. How many survived? Kane asked. 83%, the system replied. Kane nodded. That was more than he expected. And Earth, he asked. There was a pause. Earth status, unknown. No signals detected. Kane said nothing. His jaw tightened, but his eyes stayed calm. Begin full awakening, he ordered. Priority, defense and intelligence. Across dozens of stations, cryopods unlocked. Men and women gasped as cold air left their lungs. Confusion turned into focus. Fear turned into purpose. Humans adapted quickly. They always had. Meanwhile, Explorer Kale's ship floated helplessly near the human station. Weapons targeted him from every angle. His hands shook, but he forced himself to stay calm. I didn't know, he said aloud, though no one answered. I swear. A human signal locked onto his ship. Then a voice. Clear, steady, controlled. This is Commander Elias Kane of the Human Continuity Command. It said, you have entered a restricted area. Identify yourself. Kale swallowed. I am Kale of the Lyran Union. Explorer. I was lost. There was a short silence. Then the voice returned. You are not under attack, Kane said. Do not move. Kale felt his legs weaken. Humans were real, and they were still dangerous. Back in the galaxy, panic turned into action. Fleets were recalled. Borders were closed. Old weapons were pulled from storage. The council argued whether to strike first or hide. We should erase them now, one voice shouted. The historian slammed his staff against the floor. You already tried that, he said, and failed. He looked around the chamber. You forget why they scared us. Humans do not fear stronger enemies. They fear being forgotten. Silence followed his words. Inside the silent sector, human sensors mapped the galaxy. New empires had risen. Old allies were gone. Humanity's name did not appear in modern records. They erased us, an officer said. No, Kane replied. They buried us. He looked at the stars beyond the station's shield. Prepare a signal, he ordered. A greeting, the officer asked. Kane shook his head. A warning. As systems aligned, factories powered up fully. Shipyards long silent began to move. Metal flowed. Frames formed. Old designs mixed with new improvements made by machines that never slept. Humans were awake, and they were thinking. Far away, a deep space sensor picked up a new transmission. It was human-made, modern, strong. The message was short. We are awake. The galaxy trembled, because myths were not supposed to speak. And this one had just taken its first breath. The message reached every corner of known space. We are awake. It was not loud. It was not angry, but it carried weight. In the Galactic Council chamber, no one spoke for a long time. The words echoed in their minds like a distant. Humans had returned, and they did not ask for permission. They did not declare war. One member whispered, "No," the historian replied. "They never do." Commander Elias Kane watched the signal leave the silent sector. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. He studied the data flowing back in. The galaxy had changed. New borders, new flags, new species and power. The old empires that once fought humanity were gone, replaced by younger civilizations that knew nothing of the past. "They don't remember us," an officer said. "That's worse," Kane answered. Humans did not fear enemies who remembered. They feared those who did not. Kane ordered a full scan of the silent sector. What he saw confirmed his fears. Human worlds were intact, but untouched. No rescue, no messages, no attempt to contact in 10,000 years. "They left us here," an engineer said quietly. Kane's voice stayed calm. "They chose safety over responsibility." He paused. "We will not make the same choice." Deep inside the sector, automated factories awakened completely. These machines had not slept. They had waited. Over centuries, they improved designs, corrected flaws, and prepared for a future that might never come. Now that future had arrived. Ship frames assembled themselves. Armor layered perfectly. Weapon systems tested and retested. Every vessel was stronger than the last human fleet that entered the final war. Humans had learned even in sleep. Explorer Kale was escorted into the human station. Armed drones followed him, but none pointed weapons at his head. Everything about the humans felt controlled, calm, focused. He stood before Commander Kane. Kane studied him carefully. "You touched our prison," he said. Kale lowered his head. "I did not know it was a prison. The galaxy says this place is empty." Kane's eyes hardened. "The galaxy lies to itself." Kale hesitated. "They call humans a myth, a danger, a mistake." Kane did not deny it. "We were dangerous," he said, "because we refused to disappear." Back at the council, fear turned into debate. "They are rebuilding," a scout reported, faster than predicted. A military leader spoke. "Then we must strike before they leave the silent sector." The historian shook his head. "If you attack now, they will not stop until the galaxy burns." Silence fell. "They are not angry yet," the historian continued. "That is our only mercy." Kane reviewed intercepted council transmissions. The plan was clear. The galaxy feared him, feared humanity. He expected that. What he did not expect was the emptiness. "No mention of Earth," he said. "No mention of our old colonies. Records erased or lost," an analyst replied. Kane closed his eyes briefly. "Then we start from zero." A second human signal was prepared. This one carried data, not words. Maps, timelines, warnings, proof that humanity was not a legend. When it reached the galaxy, panic grew. Human technology was not outdated. It was evolved. In the council chamber, alarms screamed again. "They are broadcasting their presence." A voice cried. The historian watched the data stream. "They are not asking for forgiveness," he said softly. "They are asking one question." "What question?" someone asked. The historian's voice was barely a whisper. "Why were we left asleep?" Commander Kane stood at the station's main viewport. Stars reflected in the glass. "Prepare exploration fleets," he ordered. "Limited range. Defensive posture." An officer looked at him. "And if we are attacked?" Kane's answer was simple. "Then the galaxy will remember us." Far beyond the silent sector, fleets began to move. The first step had been taken, and the galaxy felt it. Humans were no longer asleep. They were watching. Fear always makes the same choice. Attack first. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, the debate ended in panic. Younger races demanded safety. Military leaders demanded action. The elders stayed silent, but even they could feel it. Humanity was not asking for peace. Humanity was preparing. The silent sector must be destroyed, a high admiral said. Before they leave it, the order was approved. A massive fleet moved toward the silent sector. Thousands of warships, built by many species, united by one goal: erase humanity before it fully returned. The galaxy told itself the same lie again. This time will be different. Human sensors detected the fleet long before it crossed the sector border. Multiple warp signatures. An officer reported. Fleet size extreme. Kane studied the projection. His face did not change. They chose fear, he said. He turned to his command crew. Do not pursue. Do not chase, he ordered. We defend only. Some officers looked surprised. They are coming to kill us, one said. Yes, Kane replied. Let them see how hard that is. The invading fleet crossed into the silent sector. The moment they did, space changed. Their sensors failed. Communication lagged. Target locks broke apart. Ancient human technology, designed long before the sleep, activated silently. The fleet slowed. Confusion spread. What is happening? An alien captain demanded. Then the first ship vanished. No explosion. No debris. It was simply gone. Human defense platforms revealed themselves. They were hidden inside asteroids, behind moons, inside folds of space itself. Old weapons awakened, guided by systems that had been improving for 10,000 years. Humans did not rush. They tested. Single shots fired. Results measured. Tactics adjusted. Ships disappeared one by one. The fleet tried to return fire. Nothing landed. Back in the council chamber, feeds cut in and out. They're not fighting like us, a commander said in horror. They're studying us. The historian closed his eyes. That is what they always did. Kane watched the battle without emotion. Activate Phase 2, he said. Human ships launched for the first time in 10 millennia. They moved like shadows, quiet and precise. They did not chase fleeing enemies. They blocked exits. They controlled space. The invading fleet was trapped. Explorer Kale watched from a secured chamber. He had never seen war like this. Humans did not shout. They did not celebrate. They executed. This is defense, he whispered. A human guard answered calmly, yes. The alien fleet commander sent an open channel message, his voice shaking. This is a mistake. Ceasefire. Kane accepted the channel. You entered our prison, Kane said. You woke our defenses. We were afraid, the commander replied. Kane's eyes hardened. So were we, he said. With a final coordinated strike, the human defenses shut down the fleet's engines. Weapons went dark. Ships drifted helplessly. Human ships surrounded them. The battle ended, not in fire, in silence. Back at the council, the truth hit hard. They had not attacked a weak species. They had attacked a patient one. They could have destroyed the fleet, someone said. The historian nodded. And they chose not to. Kane turned away from a viewport. Send a message, he ordered. The transmission went out on every channel. You tried to bury the past. You failed. There was a pause. Then the final line followed. Do not make us defend ourselves again. Across the galaxy, stars felt colder, because humanity had not returned in anger. They had returned in control. And that was far more terrifying. Resistance came faster than expected, not from the great powers, but from the shadows. Small alliances formed in secret. Old weapons were activated. Silent attacks struck human patrols near the edges of the silent sector. Humans did not respond with rage. They responded with analysis. Commander Elias Kane studied the reports. They are testing us, an officer said. Hit-and-run attacks. No claims. Kane nodded. They want to know how we react. And how do we? The officer asked. Kane answered without hesitation. We respond, but we do not escalate. Human ships intercepted the attackers with speed and precision. Engines were disabled, weapons shut down, crews were captured alive. Again and again. Soon, humans had prisoners from many species. Kale watched one such capture in silence. "They're afraid of you," he said. "They should be afraid of what happens without rules," Kane replied. Interrogations revealed a pattern. These groups believed the same thing. If humans became a power again, no empire would remain safe. They feared domination, an analyst reported. Kane shook his head. They fear losing control. One prisoner, an old strategist from a fallen empire, spoke more freely than the others. "We locked you away because you would not join us," he said. "You refused our hierarchy." Kane listened closely. "You had power," the strategist continued, "but you shared it. You protected weaker races. That inspired rebellion." Kane's eyes darkened. "So we were inconvenient," he said. "Yes," the alien replied. "You made others believe they could say no." The truth spread through human command. They were not sealed for violence. They were sealed for choice. Humans did not fit into systems built on fear and control. Kane ordered all data compiled into a single broadcast. The message went out to the entire galaxy. We were locked away not because we were cruel. We were locked away because we refused to kneel. The reaction was immediate. On distant worlds, small species listened in silence. Many recognized a pattern. They had lived under the same pressure. The Galactic Council met again, shaken. "They are turning the narrative against us," one leader said. "No," the historian replied. "They are telling the truth." The council issued a new order. Contain humanity by diplomacy. They sent envoys. The envoys arrived in the silent sector under human escort. They expected anger. They expected threats. They found calm. Kane greeted them without weapons. "You are not prisoners," he said. "You are guests." The envoys exchanged uneasy looks. "You could destroy us," one said. "Yes," Kane agreed. "But we are not here to replace one cage with another." Talks lasted days. Humans did not demand territory. They did not demand tribute. They demanded one thing: freedom of choice for all species. That terrified the old powers more than any weapon. Outside the negotiation halls, human fleets continued to patrol, not as conquerors, but as shields. Piracy dropped. Border wars paused. Trade flowed safer than it had in centuries. The galaxy began to notice. Kale spoke to Kane privately. "They will never fully trust you," he said. Kane nodded. "Trust is earned." "And if they attack again?" Kane looked toward the stars. "Then we remind them why cages fail," he said. Deep within human space, something old stirred. A final defense system, sealed even from human command, detected rising hostility levels. It activated quietly. Protocol, last light. Status, standby. Humanity hoped it would never be used. But hope, Kane knew, was not a plan. And the galaxy was running out of excuses. The galaxy had begun to speak in whispers. They survived. They adapted. They protect, but could destroy us in a moment. Across countless worlds, fear grew. Some species wanted humans contained. Some wanted to ally. Few knew what to do. Commander Elias Kane watched the report stream in from the edge of the silent sector. Human fleets patrolled strategically, maintaining a balance of presence without aggression. Every move was deliberate. Every action had meaning. "They're watching us," an officer said. "Every move we make, they notice." "Yes," Kane replied, "and we notice every weakness, every fear." The council finally decided to act. They sent envoys again, but this time with an offer. "Join us," the message said. "Submit to the new galactic order or face consequences." Kane read the message carefully. He could have responded with a fleet strike. He could have crushed them instantly. He did not. Instead, he called a council of human leaders. "We have a choice," he said. "We can destroy them, and the galaxy will fear us forever. Or," he paused, letting the words sink in, "we can offer peace, but on our terms." The room was silent. They all understood. Human envoys met with representatives from dozens of species. Every conversation was careful, measured. Kane spoke. We offer protection. We offer guidance. We will not erase your empires. We will not enslave you. But, he looked around the hall, we will not allow history to repeat itself. Freedom is a choice, not a gift. Many species were stunned. Humans had power, yet they chose restraint. Others could not comprehend it. There are gods among us, one diplomat whispered to another, and yet they do not crush us. Not everyone accepted the offer. Some species, hardened by fear, prepared weapons in secret. They believed humans were a threat to be removed. They saw protection as control. Kane knew some might attack, and if they did, humanity was ready. But first, he sent a warning, a single clear message to all species. We were locked away once. We will not be again. Choose wisely. As the galaxy reacted, human engineers prepared ships and stations not for conquest, but for defense. Hidden systems activated. Ancient weapons came online. Ships moved to strategic points. They were guardians, not invaders. But if attacked, their response would be decisive. Kale, the Lyran explorer, watched the preparations. They're not angry, he said. They're teaching a lesson. Yes, Kane replied. They will learn that freedom is not negotiated with fear. The first attack came unexpectedly. A rogue fleet from the Outer Rim tried to strike a human patrol. The humans did not retaliate immediately. They observed. They calculated. And when the fleet crossed the wrong line, human ships struck, not to destroy, but to disable. The message was clear. Humans protected those who accepted peace. They crushed those who threatened it. Across the galaxy, word spread quickly. Humanity had returned. Humanity had a choice. And it was not one anyone could ignore. Kane stood at the Silent Sector command window. Stars stretched infinitely ahead. The galaxy fears us, Kale said. Not fear, Kane corrected. Respect. And the reminder that some lessons must be learned the hard way. Behind them, fleets patrolled silently. Factories worked tirelessly. Systems monitored the stars. Humanity had chosen restraint. But the universe would never forget its presence. And somewhere deep in the Silent Sector, the last defense protocol, Last Light, waited quietly. A reminder of what humans were capable of if forced. The galaxy had a choice now. Humanity had made theirs. The balance of power had shifted. The stars would never be the same. Cliffhanger. The galaxy awaited the next move, but only humans knew what came next, and not all were.
The galaxy had never been so quiet. After the first attacks and warnings, every empire, every fleet, every world paused. They waited. They watched. They wondered what humanity would do next. Commander Elias Kane stood on the bridge of the largest human station. Outside, ships glided silently through space. Factories hummed, churning out vessels and weapons, but nothing was wasted. Nothing was wasted because humans had always learned that survival required preparation and patience. Kale, the Lyran explorer, observed the human commander. You could have destroyed the entire council fleets, he said quietly. The galaxy would have fallen in a week. Kane shook his head. That is not what humans do, he said. We fight to survive. Yes, but we fight to preserve. We are not monsters. We are not tyrants. But we are inevitable. Reports came in from the edges of known space. Fleets that had tried to resist humanity's rise were disabled, their ships frozen in orbit or captured intact. Trade routes, once blocked by pirates, were now safe. Small empires that feared conquest discovered unexpected allies in humans who had never asked for loyalty, only cooperation. The galaxy was learning that humans were different. Humans were not just fighters, they were guardians. The council called for an emergency meeting. Every voice trembled as the historians spoke. They underestimated them once. They locked them away. And now, he let the pause stretch long enough to chill the room. The galaxy remembers why it feared humanity. The younger races whispered among themselves. Some wept. Some prayed. Some simply stared in awe. The elder spoke again, voice grave. They were not destroyed because they adapted. They survived because they refused to die quietly. They protect what others abandon and they strike when forced. That is their law. Kane activated the communications channel. A message spread to every world. We were forgotten once. We were caged. We woke. The galaxy has a choice: cooperate, adapt, or fall. The message was simple, clear, terrifying. For some, it was a warning. For others, a promise. For the few who still sought conflict, it was a reckoning. In the silent sector, humans continued their preparations, not for war, but for the inevitable challenges ahead. They rebuilt old stations, reactivated ancient weapons, and strengthened defenses. Every system was monitored, every fleet ready. Humanity had no desire for conquest, yet none would dare threaten them again. Kale finally spoke. Do you think they understand? Kane looked at the stars, calm but resolute. Some will. Some will not. But the lesson is clear. Humans cannot be erased. Humans cannot be ignored. And humans never forget. Far beyond, in a forgotten corner of the galaxy, a new signal flickered to life. It was faint, but unmistakable. Humanity had not only returned, they had awakened the cosmos to a new order. And the galaxy shivered, remembering for the first time in 10,000 years the fear it had once known. The final line, recorded for future generations. Humanity slept for 10,000 years, and when they awoke, the galaxy remembered why it should never have forgotten them. The stars were quiet, but they would never be the same. End of story.